For our group's project, we came up with a caregiver workshop to promote young girls' STEM identities through caregiver engagement. So, the whole focus of our project was really on providing resources, tools, hands on activities that parents can feel comfortable doing and engaging their daughters with at home. Our focus really was on reaching young girls, so kindergarten through fifth grade young girl students, because at an early age is when it's really key to be able to involve them in STEM activities and really encourage them to want to pursue STEM as they pursue education. And so we really wanted to focus on females because they are so underrepresented in the field of STEM. And so, really, the inequity that we're trying to combat is that there's not enough participation in STEM for females. And so, our research question here was what strategies can be used at home to help caregivers guide and support their daughter's interest in STEM and to increase the likelihood that they will continue to pursue STEM in the future. So, by giving parents access to these tools, we're hoping that will give them the confidence to be able to engage in STEM with their daughters at home. And then also after the workshop, we hope that they will have the confidence to be able to continue to implement STEM resources with their daughters for the rest of their education and through their careers, their future possible careers. And so the framework that we're really focusing on is that student parent engagement. So parents are the key here because in a lot of the research that we looked at, it mentions how parental involvement really can make a difference in their students' achievement. So by giving them these resources at home, it's allowing them just to continue to be involved in STEM. And that's going to help them, that's going to increase their motivation, that's going to encourage them to continue this in the future. So, really, the focus is on, yes, young girls and increasing their participation, but we're also looking at the parents because they're the ones that are going to be actually implementing the STEM activities at home so that we can start developing and building their daughter's STEM identity at a young age. So it does, the literature does really um, show a great significance in daughters pursuing STEM if they are motivated at home with STEM activities through the caregivers. So, really, our caregiver workshop was meant to be presented in front of the caregivers. So, we came up with a PowerPoint, and essentially, we were going to go through the strategies and the tools together with the parents to kind of give them those resources one on one. And then their job was to go home and hopefully be able to implement some of those tools that we gave them, as well as the use the at home activities that we provided for them. So that was kind of the whole goal of the workshop. And John is going to lead us into how the activities worked at the museum.
Yes, so the at-home activities that we designed for the parents part of the workshop, there are three activities. They are making straw rockets, there is an exploration of gravity, and then an exploration of color and light. So for the museum, we made like exhibit prototypes and kind of like these fully realized versions of these activities. And so we prototyped and implemented them there at the museum. And the goal of the museum visit was to test out the activities, see how well the kids interacted with them and how they engaged with them, but also like involving the parents and caregivers in that process and kind of showing them how to facilitate it, having those conversations with them. So that was our visit at the museum. We got a lot of great feedback and engagement with them. There were some limitations with the time that we had to introduce these concepts, or that if the parents weren't really comfortable beforehand with some of these concepts, then it was a bit harder for them to be comfortable and confident in facilitating those activities. And so from that, that leads us to our conclusion and recommendations. So for the workshop, it's just this for us. We feel like it's really important to target the parents in terms of getting your daughters and young girls interested in STEM. So we would really like to see schools, school districts, and informal science centers like the museum that lead and develop these similar programs and workshops that are targeted towards parents and caregivers. And then for the museum, another goal of the museum activities was to have these like visually appealing STEM science based activities for them. So having exhibits that very much position the learner as a STEM person, reinforcing, the visuals of what a scientist does, what an astronaut does. And then for the at-home activities, our recommendation is that even though that there is a return for school for many students and families, that learning still needs to happen at home. And so through the at-home activities, just keeping the conversation going, keeping the learning going at home with caregivers and daughters to like have daughters like more interested in STEM, but to have the caregivers be more involved in that learning process. And that's our poster. So feel free to comment and give feedback on our Slack channel. Thank you.